everybody, and welcome back to G4G Games for Gamers. Today's episode of Should I Buy It has a background soundtrack of the Diablo 3 OST. A link will be up in the description. What better background music to have for the set that traffics in demonic fury and magic and hellfire, and that is the Demon set. Diablo 3 OST is one of the best things you could do. So, still on sale is the Emerald Prism, and we have the new PvP items up. You have the Mysterious Space Relic, which is heavy defense, 7k defense, about 4k offense. The Medallion of Wisdom, which is the balanced one, at about 5.5k each. And the Lethal Hand Wraps, which was the Adamantium bonus for the last PvP Alpha season. This is 7.1k on offense and about 4 for defense. Ironic that PvP items would show up shortly after the bug that appeared with the gold link that you could get unlimited gold by clicking the link over and over and slightly augmenting one number at the end of it. There was a report on the wiki of somebody who mentioned that they knew somebody who clicked it and got 800 gold. Oh boy, really? Your armory could be now mega jacked if you knew about the bug. I didn't until it was over. Had I known about it, would I have done it? Possibly. Maybe not an 800, but I might have jacked myself into the 200-300 range or something. But, so the Demon set, let's take a look at it. This is the third time the Demon set has made its little Fury presence known. The first time was, of course, during that Spec Ops. It's been on sale once before, and now this is the third time it has been on sale. Don't let the price fool you. If you have items in the set, do not purchase this as a cheap reforge. I'm going to say it again. Do not purchase this set as a cheap way of reforging your low-level items. Even at 300, if the first time you got it you were 150, don't do it. Here's why. The signpost is not reforgeable. That means even if you reforged every single piece of stuff on here at about 50 gold for the reforge, you're still only going to run about 150. You're still going to be 40 short of this price. Only spend this gold if you do not have the set or are missing items in the set. The biggest thing in here is the signpost and the hotshot. If you have Fury and Grief, yes, get the set. If you have hotshot, maybe you shouldn't get it. If you have signpost, maybe you shouldn't get it unless you really want the hotshot. If you have 0 of the 4, yes, get this set. This is by far the most popular set of all time. And that's because it is murder. It is a murder set. And even though they have some very high synergy with each other, you can kind of piecemeal it out and run several replacement pieces in the set. I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick where I'm making use of the set. My defensive team for 2 full PvP seasons and the little half-C PvP Alpha season has been Pestilence Beast, Cyclops, and at least some components of the Demon set. At one point I didn't have the cube, so I had Grief in here, and sometimes I didn't run Thorny, and I used some other things, but some components of the Demon set have been used on defense for me ever since I had them. Now, what I want to highlight over here is this is a really cheesy, sneaky defensive group. The reason why is Thorny is going to show for my defensive team in combat, and because it provides all the debuffs, Death, Frost, Poison, Burning, and Dark Void, it hides the fact that I have Signpost and Hotshot, which is going to sneak up on somebody. Obviously the cube is going to make its presence known. They'll see the reality hacking, but Thorny, really good for this set because it masks the others, and it says, because it applies all 4 that the set uses, you can drop a component out and slap Thorny in there and replace it, you can drop 2 components out. Slap Thorny in there and replace it. I could run Thorny in signpost, and signpost will be fully buffed. I can run Thorny in the hotshot, and hotshot's going to be fully buffed. So, what can we do with this set if we don't want to run all 4 and we want to break it down a little bit? Well, there's a lot of options, and I'm going to show you them right over here. We'll see if we can go through it as quickly as possible. So, we're going to skip a couple pages in, and one more should do it. Okay, so here you can see my demon set. I got it at around low 200s, so it's fairly out of date now for me at this point. It's about 60, 70 levels out of date. The only thing worth reforging is going to be the hotshot. It's going to gain, so I would wait until 300 before I reforge it. I'm so close, why reforge it now? The signpost, as you can see, doesn't have the arrow, so it really is not. And reforging it wouldn't do anything, really. Reforging the 2 blades does give you a solid boost. You got, an over 500 boost over there at the top end. And over here for grief, you have about a solid 400. So, how does this set work? Well, hotshot applies melt armor, burning on the agent, and burning on the enemy team. It hits everybody. If you have poison on you, you get a massive bonus to defense and a high chance to stun enemies. Let me tell you, it is capable of a triple stun. I used to use it on offense, and you'll cackle like a madman when hotshot stuns the entire enemy team, and you're just free to stroll around the park and do whatever you want. Signpost. This is a quick action. It is up every single round. It is a magic item, and it's a heal item. Its dark bargain is that it gives you Death Frost, and it causes... it works better with Death Frost, and it applies poison on you. You also get Dark Fortitude, which is reduced damage from overtime effects. Dots. The Shepherd Staff will do this, and Beast will do this. So it's one way of getting that buff if you don't have Pestilence Beast or you don't have the Shepherd Staff. Also, some people just run the signpost. It's a quick action that the defense generally can't screw up. The AI can't mess this up, and it just keeps your agent healthy. You can run the signpost and the Staff of Asklepios and get the bonus healing even if you do not have Death Frost, because the Staff of Asklepios will help heal the team, and it increases the healing effects on you. You have the 2 swords. You have Fury and Grief. Fury is a no cooldown, 1 enemy melee slashing, has a chance to perform a counterattack, it causes tenderized, and its dark bargain is that if you have Dark Void on you, you get a massive bonus to evasion, and you will apply Burning, Death Frost, Poison, and Dark Void to the enemies. And it causes Death Frost on you. So if you ran the Signpost and Fury, there you go. You have a chance to counterattack, and you have a chance to apply all these debuffs to the enemy. Grief exploits attrition if you have Burning. It grants a massive bonus to attack, and it creates Dark Void on you. The negative thing about Grief is that it has a 1-round cooldown, so it's not spammable. And of course it hits everybody, so counter classes could get up in your face with this, and that's one of the things that I noticed about Grief. The other thing that you could do over here is run in some items like the Deathly Freeze Ray if you have it. You can run the Deathly Freeze Ray with the hotshot. The only thing that is an issue is that the burning and the chilled cancel each other out. However, If you are running the signpost, it has direct one-on-one synergy with the Deathly Freeze Ray. The Deathly Freeze Ray gives you Death Frost and works off of poison. The signpost works off of Death Frost and gives you poison. So you can run just these two items right here and you're good to go. Hard Knocks gives you a bonus attack and it applies Soulfire, which of course counts for burning. So it gives you poison. The poison buffs the hotshot, and this gives you burning, which buffs Hard Knocks. That's one-on-one synergy right there. So you can run Signpost and Deathly Freeze Ray, or the hotshot and the Hard Knocks. Now, running hotshot Hard Knocks is a little risky because you now have 2 debuffs on you, and you're not stopping it. But you can run Signpost, hotshot, Hard Knocks, and something else like the cube. The other thing that you can do is, due to the magic heavy components of this particular set, you could come all the way over here to one of my favorite items of all time, the Crooked Branch. The Crooked Branch says that anytime you use magic, you get healed. Anytime your enemy uses tech, like the cube, they take damage. So, you could insert the Crooked Branch for one of the items over here, like one of the swords, and you would get healed every time you did stuff. So you would get healed every time you use the signpost. You'd get healed every time you use Thorny. You unfortunately do not get healed off of the swords, and you do not get healed off of the hotshot, because even though it looks demonic, it's just a gun. It's just a fire gun. You would think it would be infused with, like, demon blood or something like that. Hard Knocks, however, is considered magic. The Deathly Freeze Ray is considered magic. So you can run the Crooked Branch, the Signpost, the Deathly Freeze Ray, and the cube, and every time you use these 2 items, or Deathly Freeze Ray counters, you would get healed. I saw an agent in one of the last 2 PvP seasons that ran the Infiltrator suit, and he had the ISO that says magic equals heals. Every time he countered with the Hard Knocks, he healed himself, and I really applaud that agent. I think that is phenomenal, out-of-the-box thinking, and I think that is a really smart way to go, and it kept his agent very, very healthy. If you ran that ISO, you could run Thorny, Signpost, the Crooked Branch, and hell, Hard Knocks. You would swing Hard Knocks every turn so you would get healed. You could counter. Well, you wouldn't be applying, you wouldn't really be countering with the Hard Knocks because the team wouldn't be burning. But if you ran Hard Knocks, the hotshot, and the signpost would heal you, Crooked Branch would heal you, Hard Knocks would heal you, the ISO would heal you, and only hotshot wouldn't. So there's a lot of things you can do with this. I will show you what I... Whoops, didn't actually mean to equip that over there. But anyway, what I think my team hopefully does on defense is round 1, Thorny, Signpost, hotshot. Round 2, use the suit. Thorny, Signpost, Light Fantastic, which consumes Snappy Service, and then Blackest Void. And then he probably recharges. Yeah, he's probably going to recharge on that one. Round 3, Thorny, Signpost, hopefully Improbability Field, which consumes Snappy Service, and then the hotshot. That's my guess as to what the AI is doing. And that's what you could do if you were running this set on offense. You could stick in the Deathly Freeze Ray over here, and then you will be a stun machine. Well, you'd have to take out the cube. You could take out the cube and alternate between the hotshot and the Deathly Freeze Ray and probably keep the enemy team really locked down except for their recovery buffs. The only issue is the burning and the chilled are going to cancel each other out. But that's some ideas to think about. The ISO that magic equals heals is pretty solid for the demon set. Pestilence Beast is really a must for the set, as he will lock in the debuffs and he will enable you to transfer them off of your agent to the enemy team, especially with the AoE of the hotshot. Other people who work well with the set, you could run Pepsi Can to apply radiation poisoning, which Pestilence Beast is going to lock it in, and that's just another debuff that could go out. You can run a tanking type person to try to keep Pestilence Beast alive to make sure the enemy team can't clean themselves and that your agent continues to apply the debuffs. Anybody who exploits attrition would be very, very good. Nico would be one of those people. Sabretooth would be one of those people. You can run Fandral, who applies bleeds, and maybe his On Guard can depower the enemy team, which will allow you to live a little bit longer. He can keep himself healthy with his elixir of recovery, even though he's not going to clean himself. And Flinting Circus doing 3 stacks of bleeds, gonna be huge. Pressure points, just more debuffs the enemy team can't get rid of with Pestilence Beast. Nico's risky on defense because she's a blaster, and the fact is that you never know what she's really gonna do. Really, she should go for rock and roll to exploit all the dots that are out, but if she uses it before a lot of them are out, it's going to be a waste. Not a whole lot of extra attacks. Anti-Venom would be probably pretty good for this, since he's immune to a lot of the items. You could run Medusa tanking, and if you were running the Deathly Freeze Ray, she can exploit the incapacitation. Groot, he would deal with bleeds a little bit, and he could weaken some incoming damage. He could tank for you, but there's not a whole lot of other synergy here. You're not applying Paragon items. Falcon could help your team out a little bit due to survival training. So with reduced damage from the dots and survival training, you could probably live for quite a while there. But he's an infiltrator, which is risky. Loki could be very interesting to run for the team because of mirror images, allowing your team to dodge a few extra. Trickster Seal could help. Cursed Mirror on a heavy hitter on the opposite side may help tremendously. He has an AoE Nanoplague now with this ISO. That could help out a lot. But you don't really know if he's going to use the right moves on defense. Satana, you know, she goes with Pestilence Beast really, really well. But, again, Infiltrator, little risky on defense because sometimes she does the wrong summons. Red Hulk is probably one of the most phenomenal people that you can run on defense with the demon set because he traffics in pyrophoric and burning, so if the enemy team is burning and they can't cleanse it and he gets up to 70% heat, which you can do pretty quickly with Boom Shakalaka over here, and you give him Boom Shakalaka and Snappy Service where he can spam the hell out of Bulwark and still do stuff and do the Gamma Bomb, which further debuffs the enemy team, yeah, that's really, really good. Really, really good. Valkyrie could maybe keep your team alive a little bit. Magneto could shield the team, but you can put in the custom magnetic field generator. Get the same thing. Rogue doesn't really have anything with attrition, but a lot of people like to run her with Pesty Beast. Deadpool's got a lot that he can exploit with this. As you can see down here, if he's totally broken, he exploits attrition. So he could be pretty good over there. His Boonbuster would only be for himself, unfortunately. But it still could be pretty solid. No Holds Barred, of course, is very good when Pestilence Beast is around. Hercules could tank for you. Scarlet Witch, if she wasn't a blaster or an infiltrator, would also work out really well with the group. Pepsi can would do radiation poisoning. Berserking from Sif doesn't really matter because the agent's not really doing a whole lot of AoE. Doctor Strange. He exploits attrition over here with his ISOs. So he would be a good idea, but again, he's a blaster. But then, you have the tactician suit. So, there you go. There is the demon set. Hope you enjoyed this video here on G4G, Games for Gamers. Stay tuned to the channel for some Heroes of the Storm videos, and hopefully Lichdom the Battle Mage, maybe an Arcade beta video, and any new things that Marvel Avengers Alliance gives us in the coming weeks. We're expecting something to drop this week and the next, so we'll see what it is. Stay tuned, everybody.